All right, we are on. What's popping, y'all?
Hey, what's good? What's good?
All right.
Good.
This is dope. We've been talking about this for the past week, maybe 2 weeks.
Probably longer than that, to be honest.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. 3 weeks in the making, actually.
Okay. And you guys. So this is the first episode of the Afro Summit podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and just read off what it's about, and then we're gonna go ahead and just have a.
No, you gotta do one thing first. You gotta do an induction.
Go ahead.
You gotta do induction. So, okay, first off, Nick, I wish you need to introduce yourself. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna let you rock.
All right. So we're gonna start it off like I see what I'm saying. Nick, can you introduce yourself to the crowd, to the people, to your adoring fans that will be celebrating your name all over the world? So can you please introduce yourself?
I am Nich Jones. I don't like talking about myself. I'm boring, y'all.
Nah, not me.
We don't mind, huh? We don't mind.
I know. I'll be popping a lot of shit in the WhatsApp group. So, okay. So real quick, I'm here based in Seattle, Washington. I'm from San Bernardino, California. I've been in this podcasting game for 3 years. I've been in radio, terrestrial radio, for like 10 years, over 10 years. Started out doing internet radio before podcasting was like even a thing. And then from there, got into actual radio, terrestrial radio. And then along the way, I fell into podcasting and being a personality, being on the mic. And more recently now, I'm backstage. I produce a lot of content. So this is actually the first time in a minute that I've actually been on screen as well as on the mic. So, but yeah, that is who I are.
Okay, who I are. Okay. We got man Nick, see what I'm saying, bringing us with all the glitz and glamour, man. And we got the man. I can't see your name right now. I think it starts with a J. I can't see your internet name right now. So I ain't gonna give you government out there because I don't want you out here getting tracked by the wrong people. So can you introduce yourself?
I think you're passing it to you, Justin.
Yeah.
Oh, see, yeah, he just threw my government out there. You hear that?
See,
you see it? He gonna get up there. He gonna pop the names up there in the bottom left corner so we can, see who is who. So I'm Mental Agility. I'm based out of the DMV area. I'm not gonna let you know exactly where I'm at. I'm a service member. Been serving for about 17 years. I am the dynamics. I'm 39 years old. Came together on this platform from another one. We're going to keep those nameless. Felt like this is going to be a project that's going to take off and it's going to unite the continent to the United States, So this is something that I wanted to support and I wanted to get down with the movement before it picks up and blows off. I want to say I was one of the first to be involved, So I'm basically here to shed light, experience, or whatever when it comes to topics at hand, be it geopolitics, dating, intercultural dating, dating on the continent, and just other things. Just fruitful knowledge. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. We got that resident old man of the village out here, man. And he out here riding away before it starts. So I see him. He's a smart man. All right. And I can't see you over here at the top on the top right hand corner. I can't see your name, but I know you, brother, from the continent. See what I'm saying? You look nice. Go ahead, give the people your name and smooth us into who you are.
All right. My name is Howard. You can call me Howie, but I'm a Ugandan and I live in Kampala. I'm in Kampala right now. That's the capital of Uganda. But I could say I'm a scientist. I did public health and I have a lot of knowledge on sciences and biology. But I've also been interested in the PanAfrican movement. And I feel I can talk about things to do with Africa, the continent, the diaspora, the cultural differences. And I feel like this Afro Summit podcast is an opportunity for us to share how do we bridge the gap between Africans and the Americans. And and I'm glad to be here. And I hope we can have more people on the live so that we can share knowledge,
Oh, we do got
experiences,
more.
or
Hold on.
insight
Sure.
from West Africa, East Africa. So we have a representative from East Africa. That's me and Muse. I think if John joins, that will be that is West Africa. So we don't have anyone from North Africa, but I wish we could get those people. And because Africa is huge, 54 countries and all different cultures. But yeah, let me see where this goes. And I'm optimistic. I'm
Okay.
optimistic that this will be great. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. We got what is it? African Muse. How you doing, lady? You are our only lady on the panel today. Please, guys,
Oh,
don't attack her all at once. Don't attack her all at once. But can you give us your introduction to yourself and where what side of the continent you're from, and a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi guys.
what's
Hey,
Good
up?
how
to
you
be
doing?
here. Oh,
We can hear you just
okay.
fine.
I'm great. Okay. My name is Whitney. You can call me Whitney. I'm from East Africa, Uganda. I'm a tour guide. And
Okay.
I help organize trips within East Africa. I've been handling big groups. I've been handling big groups of people, like from the continent, and also those from the diaspora. And I'm really excited to be here because I feel like it is really important for the diaspora and the people from the continent to actually learn more about the African cultures, because I feel like we've been played for a very, very long time. And I should shout out to Nick for coming up with this whole idea of trying to come up with this Afro Summit podcast, because my usual intentions are to showcase Africa to the Western world.
Ah, okay,
Dope. That's
okay.
what's up. I appreciate. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We
All right.
appreciate it.
Okay.
It's a group
And then we
initiative.
have the mystery person. I can't see your name.
That's one Shiro. I think I'm saying it right. See, uh, say, hey, baby girl, say something real quick. She said, "I'm not talking at all."
Oh, she in the she in the back out there making some hard ugali. We know what she doing. She making some hard ugali out there in the background, so
Hold
it's
on.
okay. Ain't
Let
gonna
me
say
text
nothing
her real
about
quick.
it, bro. But my name is Usual Business, and it's business as usual as always. I help out here on the podcast, man. I come in, I slide in, I do what I can. I give a wealth of information and knowledge. And this Afro Summit is here basically to help other for people from the diaspora also learn about Africa itself, and do a variety of things. Right. By myself, I live out here in Georgia. I visit Ugandan frequently. That's like my little second adopted home. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. And at any time, I'm ready to go ahead and rock and roll. And if you need help, I'm your man.
Cool. So, Malcolm, let's just start with this. Are you looking to relocate to? You're looking to relocate to Uganda, right?
Of course, man. It's the greatest place on earth.
I was gonna say you want to share with the people, why you've made such a decision.
Ah,
Justin, I think you're gonna eventually be relocating as well, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
let's go ahead and get into it as far as investigating the why. And y'all can you don't have to give us all your business if you don't want to. Just the reasoning factor as to why. Go ahead,
oh,
Mal.
oh, you already know me. It's simple. It's simple as day. The weather is better. The food is better. The air is a little bit cleaner over there. And people are a tad bit nicer. I'm gonna say that tad bit nicer. They still gonna swindle you at the market though. Don't go to that market without no contact. They still gonna get you at the market. But I just like the culture, the placement of me. I look for also business ventures. So for me, I see a lot of future money in Uganda. So I go where the money is, and like they say, a wise man can hear profit in the wind, and I hear a lot of profit coming out of Uganda. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Big J, man.
So yeah, man, I plan on getting down there to Nairobi, Kenya, 2026. Hopefully by the end of 2026. My primary purpose is there to retire, relax, and start a family. You know,
Okay.
secondary is to sort of get into the economic landscape. Uh, we talked in the back chat, sorry, not in the back chat, but in the group chat about, certain business ventures I wanted to get into. I'm not going to put it out there right now. Certain people like the, the wealth of opportunities that are in the continent, to go explore that, try to get my foot into conversation, deals, and, try to give other people opportunities to make money, profit, and be successful as well. So I look at the the place where I currently live in as a burning building. I got to run out of this mug, man. I got to be honest with you.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
that's my dream. We can get into the reasons why I'd rather be over there starting a family as opposed to starting here later on down the line.
Well, okay, let's get into it because all right, so I mean, I guess I'll just I'll go out, get out in front and let the people know how Afro Summit even came about. So we were in another most of us here was we were in another initiative that was going down. What is it? The PDS, right?
Doom, doom,
The
doom.
PDS chat. Shouts out to O'Shea and the team.
I would
You know
say
what I'm
deep
saying?
black
No,
is a legend, bro.
listen. It's a beautiful thing that he has that he's him and his team has put together. I believe that they're based out of Kampala. And yeah, I mean that the PDS chat turned into Jerry Springer. That's the best way I can encapsulate
African Jerry Springer.
and motherfuckers was
Oh
getting
God.
booted left and right. I was one of them. Motherfuckers was getting booted. There's folks that just simply left. It got a little wild in there. So, but before we get more into that, Justin, so you was on the PDS show at one point, correct?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and that's how you and your lady y'all met and came together and that's what's setting you off into going over to what was it, Nairobi?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I mean, and that right there, just bridging the gap. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Do you think? And I know I'm about to beat a dead horse here because everybody from the red pill community, the manosphere, the sisterhood, all these motherfuckers have been talking about the same shit when it comes to the whole dating and relationships topics, especially in between when it comes to black men and black women. So um, expanding your dating palette, like, and fellas, I mean, Malcolm, feel free to chime in on this. Um, why was there a need to? Why did you feel the need to expand your dating palette? Was it just something you wanted to do, or were you not finding something here at home with our sisters here at home, like? Without giving too much detail, I ain't trying to like,
Bro,
you
you
know,
I
trying to get
could,
me
I
in
could
yeah,
dive.
trouble.
yeah.
Trying to
We
get me
about
in
to,
trouble out here. I was
we
trying to
about to,
I was trying
we
to fly
about to.
under the radar. I was trying to fly right neat under the radar, real
I mean,
cool,
it's a
real
bit
cool
weird.
fly.
Listen, we're officially what is it? What do they call them? We're public figures now. We're about to so it's eventually gonna come out. It's eventually gonna come out. So,
Hey, so yeah, let me jump into that. But first and foremost, I definitely want to shout out O'Shea and the Pan African Dating Show because uh, this is a 1 in a million chance. Not even 1 in a million, 1 in a multi-billion. When you take in consideration of how many women are on the planet, and then you break it down into the continent, and then when you talk about time differences, like if I was staying in the Central Time Zone or the West Coast where you at, Nick,
Mhm.
This probably would have never happened because I would be getting off work right as the show was ending. So
Mhm.
for that, I will always be in debt to my man O'Shea, and that's the reason why I still go to the show and I still contribute. I still donate, and it's
Right.
like
Right.
$10 here, $2 here, $5 there. There was one time when I had to drop a 50 spot, to get
Mhm.
that token to kick out of Nigeria after the show. But like I'm always gonna show love to him, man, because like it might be weird, because I talked to a couple other people in in the spaces that we maneuver in, and there was a question that I posed to. I know a couple of you guys know him. His name is BGS Igmore, and I asked him, was passport bros men trying to live the blue pill fantasy? And he thought about it, and he said, yeah. So I was like, well, a long time ago, love and happiness was a thing, right? And you hear so much about how certain countries on the continent are like this many years behind the United States and so on and so forth. So if they this many years behind, that means the concept of love and marriage is, or love and happiness rather, still a thing. So
Mhm.
that's what speared me into going over there to the continent. Now this is where it's about to get grimy. See, uh, what I've experienced over in the West, because I've done an extensive amount of dating. I could write a book on it. You know, uh, love and happiness is depicted on you worshiping the ground she walks on. You got to do more than she does. The outcome, I mean, the output is not reciprocal. It's not 50-50 in that aspect of effort.
Mhm.
So I kind of got sick and tired of that. When you sit back and look at the dynamics, the statistics, and everything that goes on between family court, between out of wedlock childbirth, when you're dealing with somebody, it used to be a noble thing to be a stepdad. A woman would appreciate you for stepping up, and now it's not even a stepdad. It's you get stepped on when you try to fulfill that obligation that some of our stepdads did. So
Right.
it seems like, with that being said, the cards are stacked against me, man, and I've already lost one family, and I fought tooth and nail for that shit, and I lost everything: money, house, furniture. So I'll be damned at 39, 40, I go through that shit again, and the
Hey,
same process goes
I
on.
hear you.
There's fans,
Yep.
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get fooled twice, man. You see it every day, man. The writing's on the wall, man. So I said, let me take my talents to Africa. And it was one shot, right? And hit it off perfectly. Like, I seen what I wanted. She fit everything exterior. And I knew the cultural differences, she's going to be more susceptible to wanting to play the traditional role, be a wife, be a mother first. I mean, it just worked out. It just so happens that because there's been a lot of beautiful women that come on the show, and
Mhm.
there might be, like, the old me rather would be like, maybe I cashed in too early, but now it's like my focus is different, man. I got
So, Mr.
somebody
Mitchell,
that's
can I ask you a question?
attractive.
Can I
Yeah,
ask you a
what's up?
question?
Justin,
So,
can I ask you
you
something?
basically, so what's you basically looking for a traditional wife then, basically, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Okay.
you want me to tell you something? Let me take that back. I'm not even going to say a traditional wife, man. I just need somebody that's willing to allow me to lead. And it's real crazy because I don't do permission based leadership. However, I don't want friction. I had friction in the West, so yeah, I don't, even because there's times when we disagree, but at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I got one more quick question. Then we got two new people to the panel that came into the panel. I can't forget we got our guy over here from I think our local Jamaican, and then we got our one brother from Nigeria that just crept in necessarily from the shadows, right? So my Jamaican brother, can you please introduce yourself? And then after that, my Nigerian brother, can you please introduce yourself?
Wagwan, this is Ibrook Ajamotike Palmer. You guys know me as Big Dreams. Yeah, I'm a business owner. Right now, the reason I'm late, I've apologized for that. I was on the road. Actually, I'm doing an order right now. But I'm chiming in, listening to the conversation with Justin and the guys. Basically, I have the same sentiments, right? Being with girls in Jamaica, don't want to divulge too much information because that's the thing they dread the most for the truth to come out. But suffice to say that we're exploring our options, and I'm always a Pan Africanist. So it was just natural for me to look to Africa for beautiful queens in Africa, of which I find a beautiful black queen. So, with that said, that's my introduction. I have a lot more to offer, but in further podcasts, we'll go more in depth.
Okay, okay. And my Nigerian brother, can you please go ahead and give your introductions?
Yeah, yeah, good morning for good evening from here. Yeah, it's almost like
David,
06, 5:31 here, and I'm John Amin by name. Really appreciate being here. Like honestly, I was very happy to be part of this podcast today and like to be live here today also. I'm very happy. Like it's a good thing and within the things like knowing you guys, I feel very happy. Honestly, like it's my pleasure to be among these people. I'm really, really very happy.
It's an honor to have you with us, sir. Well, an honor to have us with you.
Hey man, I gotta shout you out real quick because the visuals, man, you surgical with the edits, man. The shits was nice, so gotta give you your flowers right here, right now. We appreciate you. I know I do. So, and I think I can speak for everyone else. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you was definitely beloved over here on this side. Definitely beloved on this side, my friend. So
yeah.
I wanted to ask Nick a quick question. Can you give us the rundown necessarily of what do you want from the podcast as a whole necessarily? Do you want it to be a meeting place of the minds? Do you want it to be a place where you can conjugate and learn things? What do you see as the what's going to bring life into the Afro Summit?
I mean, it's a bit of everything in what you just said, and just kind of like skimming over my notes here because I had to scale out the whole initiative. And I'm not really. If I start going off like just dome, I'll start babbling. So I have my notes here. So I'm gonna be reading off of that. But yeah, it's everything what you just said. It's I think somebody said it earlier. We're simply bridging the gap. We don't have, at least in my opinion. I see a lot of content creators here stateside, and then I'm learning and getting up on content creators over in the motherland, right? And it's dope because we're talking to each other. Like you have the content creators here in America where they're just, again, sex, dating, and relationships is like the number one topic right now. That and the gender wars, at a close second. And so that's like what's really, that's being cultivated here stateside. But then you also have like podcasts that go beyond that, right? So like I'm big on hip hop. So if I'm not watching, one of these content creators talk about the aforementioned, then I'm definitely, I'm on my Joe Budden podcast shit, Drink Champs, Sway in the Morning, and Breakfast Club. I'm watching, I'm getting my information about our culture from those mediums. So but all that to say, again, the term bridging the gap, I wanted to, what we're doing right now, get us stateside in collaboration with our folks over in the motherland and get just a better understanding of one another and just come together and unify and do some beautiful shit at the end of the day. So I mean that stands from African business ventures, like you are going to Uganda, you're relocating to Uganda, and you're going to be, I'm sure, erecting a business or two, pouring in, just positively pouring into that land, giving back to that land as a foreigner, not just taking by being on their land and just what
Yeah,
benefit.
I don't do bad business, bro. Yeah, I don't do Chinese business. I do good business.
Right. But you get what I'm saying. Like, and that was
things.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, I want to see more of us here stateside go over to Africa and, you know, pour into those countries respectively. But not just, you know, with tourism, but just if you're planning to become an expat, like, you know, get some business going, you know, pour into those communities and help them build. You know what I'm saying? I think that we could do a lot if we actually just focused on, you know, just coming together and unifying. So I got a couple of bullet points here I'm gonna read off. African business ventures, cultural exchange, diaspora stories, education and awareness, guest interviews, talking about the youth and future generations, travel and tourism, language and communication, and then just all of that essentially being community building. That's just really what it is. Like we're doing it here in the States, they're doing it over there in the motherland. But you know, my thing is let's all come together and try to build as one. Now I know that this shit is not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of pushback, a lot of fiery ass, opinionated talking points. There's going to be a lot of riffraff, but I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. I just think that as long as we keep it sexy and respectful, and we're able to gravitate to the focal point being what we're why we're all here. As long as we can, you know, we can get off track a bit because that's, you know, that's life, that happens. But as long as we can just retain focus and you know, move forward for the betterment of the bigger picture, I think we got some here. I think we can do it.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Basically, it's like you said, I see this platform as a thing to be built necessarily for the future too. Like you said, connect people so they can help better themselves and better their own futures, right? Because that's what it's all about: bettering yourself, bettering your future, and bettering the world that you can live in for your kids and for your kids' kids. So, you know, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to do: spread a little love, spread a little joy, and you know, laugh and help make a little bit of a coin on the side by doing it. So. Another thing that I also wanted to add and say, so who, which many of you actually have left the your home countries? Anybody here?
Like left it for good?
No, I mean like left your country, like you went out, you came back. You know that's the word leave. Leave means to just to leave. We say permanent.
You mean like leave and then you just don't bring your ass back home to the States. You leave and
we didn't say that. I said leave. I told you I mean leave means just to go away from. That's all I mean, just to go away from.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying. So who here?
I'm here at home. I'm still in America. So no, I haven't even traveled to the to Africa yet. I'm gonna be in Kenya June 2024. So it'll be my first time traveling outside of the country, but then also my first time going to Africa. And I was intentional about that because, you know, I could have went to Japan, I could have went to London, Australia, I could have went anywhere else, but I wanted to be intentional on touching down, you know, in Africa first and getting that game and just soaking up, you know, all the different cultures, customs, traditions, and, you know, getting that much closer and again bridging. I'm gonna wear this term the fuck out, bridging the gap. So,
a second word for that because you didn't use that word like 15 times since we.
I'm gonna keep using it too.
Okay, that should be the title of the next episode: "Bridging the Gap."
Bridging the Gap. You're right.
Part 2.
All right. Can I say something?
Oh, definitely. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on the issue of bridging the gap, we've had so many Americans or people from the West, you know, come to Africa and they have received, backlash from the locals, you know, and I feel like it's an opportunity for us to go through the things, you know, what is the problem? What is the root cause of all these issues? Why do people come back home and they're not received? They're not, they find that the people are strange, you know, so these cultural differences, like Nich said, you know, can we find a way to overcome these differences? Can we get to know each other before you move to a place? You know, you need to find out about the cultures, the traditionals, the languages, don't just get an air ticket and go to Uganda. I mean, we have so many things which are totally different from the US. And I feel like in the other groups, you can see that some folks are having problems, because they expect something different and they receive something different, So the expectations, they need to be limited whenever you move to a new place, There's a way you have to adapt, because it's a different place, That's why you're going there, whatever for. I feel like we need to do more research, and this podcast will be an opportunity for us to share the do's and don'ts, and so that folks can be safe, folks can be respected and their expectations met, because Africans have a different way of living and Americans have a different way of living. So how do we live together? How do we coexist? So I feel like this would be a good thing to talk about in the future podcasts: culture differences and embracing them. Yeah, thanks.
Indeed.
Hey, good one, Big Dream. I want to add to that, man. Let me ask you a question. Do you think learning cultural differences goes both ways, or do you think expats going to a country just need to adhere to the culture there?
Ooh. Okay.
Are you asking me?
Good
Sorry.
question. That's a good question.
Can I answer that?
Hold
Can
on.
I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think in most cases, the person who moves to a new place, that person is the one supposed to adapt, because in that context, the person who moves to that place is a minority, because maybe there are not so many people. So it depends, but in my opinion, I feel like the person who moves to that place has to adapt to the cultures there, because the whole country won't change the things which are happening just to accommodate this person, For example, America is supportive of LGBTQ, for example, But if you know that you're LGBTQ and you're moving to Uganda or Kenya, and this country has passed a bill against this, there's no way you're going to practice these practices and go to jail, You understand me? So that's just one example, but I feel like the person who moves to the country has to adjust, and that's when he will be received, he will be accepted. But that's what I think. I don't know what Muse thinks about this.
Well, I think African Americans should understand that you can't romanticize Africa, because I don't know. I know for a fact that you people have been they've showcased to you the bad side of Africa. Yeah, because there are instances where like African Americans come to Africa, they're having they have different views about Africa, and then like what goes down is completely different. Like for example, I was just watching this recent podcast of Kinganda. There was this group, I think they're called Freedom Chasers.
Yep, I'm familiar.
They settled in Kenya, and honestly, the comments those people actually posted about Kenya was bad. You don't expect to go to a country and then you talk maybe bad things about these people that you found there and you expect to be loved back. No, because we know for a fact African Americans, you guys are like too aggressive. I wouldn't say aggressive, but I mean I like your confidence. I like how you express yourself. I like the way how you were so resilient. Now with Africans are more laid back. And when I talk of being laid back, like there's a tourist who one time came and told me, I think she was talking about me with her friend, as coming out of the swimming pool, and she said, "Don't get into the swimming pool. That black Ugandan African girl got out of the swimming pool. You'll get diseases." How do you think I'm going to feel?
Ooh, damn! Like I
That
apologize on that one we have.
Was it a white woman that said that?
When you say something like that, how do you think I'm going to view you when you say something?
Yeah. But what I'm saying, was it a white person that said that?
Nah, they were both Americans.
White American or black
They were
American?
both Americans.
Oh, white. Oh, wow.
Hey, Jesus Christ, hey,
Both of them.
Hey, we got them too, bro. We got idiots too, bro. Like I claim my idiots. I be like, yeah, that person an idiot though. But it be like
you gotta keep people on point and let them know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
hold on one second, Muse. I want to ask this question to you, and I think that was Big Dream that was speaking. Um, so when it comes to adjusting to someone else's culture, right? And this might fall in the lines of like cultural colonization. What if
Yeah.
the people that you're asking to fall in line, for lack of better terms, are trying to come there and spend money and invest? Should they let go of their mindset that got them to the point to where they have developed the residual income? Let's say America, Europe, or whatever have came across a successful business opportunity and they have the residual income to back it, right? Should he just say, well, they operate slower in Mombasa or in Tanzania or something like that, or should he keep that go getter mentality and push forward?
Muse, I think that
Can I answer
question was set
that?
to you.
Muse, are you there? Can you answer that?
I think she dropped off.
Okay, let me go ahead and answer that. All right, I get your point. Okay, you are coming to give back to Africa. Yes, you have the resources. You feel like you can benefit from the labor, the cheap labor. The resources. Yeah, this is a good thing. Yes, but I just feel like you have to live in harmony with the people who are also, because it's a 50-50. You're benefiting from them, they're also benefiting from you, so you have to coexist. Yeah, so it's not like you have to adhere to everything, but things to do with traditions, cultures, customs, regulations. I mean, these are like the norm. These are the norm, and So once you go against these things, of course, you feel the backlash. You feel the outrage of the people, because, and the fact that they're more than you. They're numerous. You feel the pressure. So to avoid any negative sentiments or feedback or backlash, which will harm your business or your reputation, I feel like it is better to live in harmony with them. Navigate through the do's and don'ts. Of course, there's corruption. There are people who are going to scam you. The thing is, can you get people you can trust to do the work you need? Because I'm sure that not 100% of all the people will be bad, for sure. You can always get the people you can depend on. Just like O'Shea, O'Shea made it. I mean, Uganda is not the best place to have a podcast, but you can see that the podcast is picking up. So O'Shea managed to get the right people. So I feel you can make it. It is hard. It is not easy, but you just have to be patient, and you can always go through it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my little personal opinion on it. When it comes to doing business in Uganda, I trust me, I tried to start me a little business in Uganda. I was down there for almost half a year. Starting a business in Uganda
What was the business? If you don't mind me asking.
When I was trying to start like was a smaller was an LTL business, when you basically they had when I was there, I noticed a few things, right? Where people just sold what is it? People would buy phones, necessarily a phone business. It's basically phones and computer, laptops, like that, right? Same old thing you would start in the US. You sell phones, you get them refurbished, you sell them at a higher price, so forth and so on, right? But the amount of taxes that they have out there in Uganda, they try to hit you with, the amount of hands that you have to grease on the side in Uganda to do that, it makes it very difficult to do business there. But at the same time, I do have to agree with Howie on this point that some things just is how it's done, and there is an element of change that also needs to happen to the continent. But that's where I think this is where we come in as the podcast, where you can get the other half and the other half, right? Where you can see, okay, this is where I think Ugandans do have a right, or East Africa does have a right? And this is some elements, or let's say people from diaspora could say, okay, well, you know what, this is where we have it wrong, and this is where they have it right, and we can probably come meet in the middle and make that exchange. Because trust me, the fuckery is on both sides, though. But once you do come to somebody else's country, and you gotta learn the customs, you gotta learn the culture, you gotta be able to speak the language is a lifesaver. Trust me, speaking the culture is speaking the language is a lifesaver. So once you have these things down, you can maneuver around any place. And the goal of this podcast is to help people to be able to maneuver properly when they go to these places. not be going to the market and paying 5 shillings for one tomato. So things like that, my friend. Things like that.
5 shillings for one tomato is pretty good, actually.
And for shit for her, but they were looking at me like, oh, we got a fresh goat coming to the market every day they saw me. So
They was probably talking about 500 shillings for one tomato.
hey, we ain't doing that now. We ain't doing
Did you
that.
just say 500 shillings for one tomato?
No, it was
Yeah.
5,000. One
5,000.
tomato. One tomato. You can get 5 tomatoes for 1 shilling, bro. So understand this.
Okay. I'm ignorant. I don't know the exchange rate. I don't know
Malcolm,
what
we don't have 1 shilling. Malcolm, we do not have 1 shilling in Uganda.
My bad, 5,000 shillings. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to get beat up when I go back to Uganda. I'm sorry. So I'm so sorry. We gotta fix your mic. We gotta get you off that Mango wireless mic, and we gotta get you a good American mic because we can't be doing this right now.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't know what is going on with the feedback. But we gotta.
Sorry, can I say something on what Malcolm said?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So another thing is that so what the hack, like what to do when you go to Africa, you need someone you can trust, to help you navigate through anything, because this person knows the language, and they can always try to tell you that they're scamming you, whatever, Just we could say like O'Shea and Maya, Juanita Maya, So if O'Shea maybe wants to buy something from the market or from the shop, they would go together and Maya would do the business, would do the transaction, would say, okay, this is 500,000 shillings. And if the person is trying to say too much or blow it up, the person would tell them that, no, they are scamming, this is the right thing to do. Like always move with someone who will help you through that, any situation. But if you try to be independent or try to go alone, obviously people will know that you're American. Your accent is already different, unless you can mask that, the way you dress, the way you speak. So people know that you have money, so they will try their level best to scam you, So yeah, that's just a hack for everyone.
Yeah, then maybe on top of that also, when you're like wanting to start a business in Uganda or even anywhere, because these things are nearly all they scam people everywhere. Any part of Africa, you can easily get scammed because your accent will give you away. When it comes to businesses, avoid using these people who call themselves middlemen. They'll be like, oh, I can get somebody to help me get these documents from the ministry. Don't trust those guys because they'll ask you for money. So before you know it, you're spending 200, you're spending 400, you're spending 600, $5,000, and there is nothing done yet. And yet we have a really high amount of taxes. We do have a lot of taxes we pay for.
Yeah, the Ugandan taxes out there is it's a different ball game because I tell people when you go to some of these countries, you got to understand that like Kenya, they gonna tax you if you think you're going to America, you think you'll leave America with like with $10,000 or $5,000 in your pocket and just live completely fine in Africa. No, son. You need to be thorough on what you're doing. You need to understand how much your finance is going to be weekly, monthly. You have to do your due diligence. So I keep telling people when you go to the continent, you must go there in spurts. You got to go once, 3 weeks, maybe come there again, stay for maybe like another month or 3 months or whatever. You got to, like I said, you got to understand and got to understand the culture. You really got to understand the culture, right? Because those little small cultural nuances, if you do not understand them, that will cost you more money in the long run. So definitely.
So learn the law of the land before you step foot on said land, basically.
Yeah. Because I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. I went down there for like 5 months, just solo dolo. Trust me.
I mean, and that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, to Howie's point earlier, you don't just pack up and I mean, you got people that are bold, that are so emboldened enough to do so, where they just, they'll pack up, buy a plane ticket that day, and just go wherever, and then just call themselves, exploring some shit. And while that does sound cool, I mean, that can be dangerous as well. You just not knowing what you're walking into. and and navigating that space, that can fuck you up. So
Yeah, I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to traveling though. So me on it, like I'm not your average. I'm not your average traveler. If you know that image, that's right there. I'm not your average traveler. I'm a little bit more versed in that. But that's I'm not an amateur though. So I done been to at least like 6 or 7 countries already. So but for like people who not, this is your first time going to, like, let's say East Africa, let's say you're going to Tanzania, you're going to Rwanda, you're going to Uganda, any one of these places, even Kenya, you got to know the law of the land, man. And the quicker you get an understanding of that, that's the better you'll be. So definitely on that much.
And then, okay, let me say this real quick. For those of you guys who are backstage, if you guys are looking to come up on the panel to have the discussion, we'll gladly have you on. But if you're just here to just be here and not contribute to the conversation, then we're not gonna bring you up. And then I'm also gonna have to get you up off of the out of the backstage area so that we can make space for those who do want to be vocal and have the conversation. So, all right, you guys, go ahead. My bad.
So let's step in this real quick. So, when it comes to, I call it the American tax. You know what I'm saying? When I first got off the plane and Irene met me, we were getting ready to hop in a cab, and for the most part, the Ubers and Bolts are cheaper than a cab. But this guy, he was like ready, and I was ready. Like, I'm ready to go. Meet the family and all this other stuff, clap some cheeks. But he was like, I can take you right now for 1,000 shillings. And she was like, no, that's too much. She's telling me no. And he said it straight up, come on, brother, it's just $20. And I thought about it. Yeah, it is just $20. So you kind of got to feel it, right? The way I gauge it is, how much would I pay in the States, right? Because your money goes a long way there, right? They're like it was crazy when I was at the club. I tipped the guy 1,000, right? But I was lit, he showed me a great time and everything. And she was like, you can't go around doing it, and I was like, it's just $20. But I get it. You'll run out of money real quick by doing that type of stuff. But you need to look and see how much it would cost in the States as opposed to how much they're trying to charge you, and maybe go down a little bit, because at the end of the day, they own the same thing that you own. It's about survival over there. So when they hear that American accent, they knew it costs a lot of money to get here in the first place. So we know you got it, So, but the whole continent is a negotiating table, right? You're bartering left and right. And me, I got the gift of gab. I like to talk, So yeah, I'm gonna cut you down. If you try to offer me something higher than I know, but that's like you said, the law of the land, but you just got to be mindful how long you're going to stay there, how much can you afford to spend, and then you go from there.
Yeah, that's one thing I got to say. I definitely kind of, me on the other hand, I'm so used to that American, the price is the price. I was paying the top price for everything, the first price for everything. So trust me, I had a little.
You guys couldn't even negotiate a little bit.
Nah, I ain't negotiate on nothing. It was like the first price was the price. So trust me, the market loved me when I came in. I came in, it was like the watermelon went up an extra 10 shillings, 10,000 shillings. The watermelon went up. Trust me, everything went up an extra price when they saw me. But as I learned, trust me, I learned how to barter and negotiate. But it took me a minute for that. That's what I'm saying. That cultural clash or that cultural differences. Because in America, the price is the price. If we say it's $25, it's $25 and only $25, right? In Africa,
did you say here in America?
Yeah. No, in America, think if you go to somebody, you go to the store and you buy something. If it's $25 on the register, $25. Man, you can't come in there with no 23 and think you're gonna walk out with the item. But you go to Africa.
Are you okay? Because I'm saying there's tax. If it's $25, it's $25 plus tax.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying.
I think I got. Okay.
I will say that
moderate.
like the grocery stores, the malls, the price is the price. You're not negotiating where there's a register where you can use your debit card. You're not negotiating there. Like when, for instance, I bought my girl and her mom a TV. Right? We went into, I forget the name of the grocery store. Maybe one of y'all can help me out that live in Kenya. one of the bigger grocery stores. And we went upstairs, and then there was a TV there, and it was on sale. And I took a picture of that TV, the brand, and the price. And then we went down to the CBD where there is no register. That's where you do all your bartering. And I went in there like a boss. Hey, can you beat this? Oh, you can't beat it. All right, I'm out. You know. And eventually, I got to two electronic stores. They were side by side. And I told him, hey, look, if you can't, he beat the price. And I was like, no, I want you to go lower than that. And I told him, I'm going to go to this store right next to you. If he beats your price, I'm not coming back. You sure you're not going to go lower? And he didn't go lower. And I went over there. I said, hey, look, man, this guy offering this. How much can you offer? He gave me 500 shillings less. I said, deal. And he seen me walk out with that 50-inch TV. And I was like, hey, man, you lost your deal. So it's like it can work in your favor if you know the currency and if you know how to negotiate. Like, they'll shut the fuck up. If you know how to negotiate, they're going to be like, okay, cool, got you.
Okay. Also, Howie said, have you ever left the Uganda? Have you ever left Uganda? You came to the States yet, or you just only been in Uganda so far?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, no, I've been to the only countries I've been to, I think Spain and Kenya. I haven't traveled anywhere else. So I know some bit of the cultures in Europe, whatever, but I haven't been to the States yet. So only Europe and Africa.
Okay, so give me your opinion as a Ugandan who's went to Kenya and you've been to Spain so far. Tell me the difference that you saw necessarily from going just from one country over it to Africa and then going all the way to Europe. Can you give me that? Can you walk and can give me that picture of that? Can you do that?
All right. I think the most prominent one is time management. All right. I mean, in Uganda, things happen anytime, like things could take forever. If a wedding is at 5 p.m., it could even start at 10 p.m., So if you come to Uganda expecting for people to be on time, you're in the wrong place. All over Africa, people are just slow as fuck. You won't get things done. It's impossible to get anything done. If you have to hand in a document on Monday and they tell you come back Friday, you might have to come back the next Friday. So time management,
Friday.
Yeah. Time management is the main difference. Yeah, and and the other things maybe I would say, like, for an African, of course, people receive you differently. This is Europe. Spain is one of the most racist countries in Europe. You can remember the chaos which went on with Vinicius Junior, the Madrid player, right?
I saw that.
Yeah, he was called a monkey for, the whole stadium, just the whole stadium shouting, So for Africans, the experience is slightly different, but you would say that people from America, as long as you have... So the people who receive the most discrimination are Africans, South Americans, and people from Asia, like Chinese or blah blah blah, and also Muslims. Spain is a Catholic country, so they don't really like Muslims. I don't know. Is it because of Is it because of the Moors? The Moors who colonized Spain a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, the time management is the main difference for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So time management seems to be one thing, and all right, in the racist component, we go ahead. We'll put a pin in that one and come back to that one necessarily. So anybody else?
Let me get this in real quick, Howie. Let me, and maybe to ask the question is to answer it. Do you think the lack of the sense of urgency on the continent is to their detriment when it comes to economics?
Absolutely. Africans, I don't know. I think the major reason for the laziness of Africans, I think, is because they have everything. What doesn't Africa have? They have the food, they have the water, you have the sun. I think they have so many resources that most of them don't really want to work. They don't want to go to work. If you have food, water, where would I want to go to work? And things are cheap. You can spend, for example, 10,000. That's about what, $3. You can spend $3 a day just for food. You could spend 3,000 shillings in the morning, 3,000 in the afternoon, and 3,000 in the in the evening. So you can spend $3 a day. I mean, that is really cheap, So I feel like the reason most Africans are slow or whatever is because there is no reason to put pressure on themselves. They have everything, especially in the rural areas. These people don't have a phone, they don't have TV, they don't have internet, but these guys are extremely happy. You only see unhappiness or stress in the urban areas. Yeah, so it's the detriment of us, but that's just the culture, and I feel like we have a long way to go. Yeah.
Cool. We got hold on, because P has been sitting here patiently waiting. We got him here in on the show with us, so I just wanted to give him that intro, and then we have, hold on one second, Queen B. So I mean, if you guys want to give a quick introduction, and then we can keep the conversation rolling, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good. I don't know. Afternoon, morning, depends on where you are. My name is Pierre. I'm 40. I haven't been to Africa yet. I will be visiting Africa next month. So I don't know how much insight I can share about anything that I've necessarily been through. Everything in my mind at this point is an opinion when it comes to visiting Africa and how it will be. So just here with an open mind, trying to learn something. Hopefully I'll be able to give some insight on my opinions and some things as well. So thank you for having me.
I was going to ask, what are you looking to, when you head out to Africa or wherever you may land, what's the goal? What are you looking to absorb when you touch down?
So I'll be landing in Nairobi. I don't know if I'm going to make it to visiting Uganda yet. My overall objective is I'll be there for 3 weeks. Try to gain some insight on the culture, see how the people are, see if it's definitely a place I can see myself relocating to, or perhaps retiring at. So yeah, just trying to get that as well. I am visiting a young lady that I'm currently vetting that lives there too as well. See how our connection is physically, and see if if we can get along, and possibly what we can create and build for the future, man. I'm looking forward to it, though. I definitely will jump back on the show once I have an experience and share some things. Everyone has a different perspective, and I think the more different perspectives we allow, the greater it will be, the greater insight we can share with people watching the show.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I mean, and this is the introductory piece. So right now, I mean, it may seem like or sound like we're just babbling on, but really I think there's gems to be found in this discussion. I think yeah, like I was saying, I think there's gems to be found in this discussion, and we're just, again, we're getting our bearings. So I'm not looking for this episode to be, super structured. I mean, it is, because
Nick, I have a question. So would you say there's a method to the madness then?
Excuse me?
Would you say there's a method to the madness then?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, like I was saying, we're gaining our bearings right now. This is the first episode, so I mean, I'm not tripping off of people coming on and not knowing what to say, or because I can understand where the conversation is going, several different directions, but it's great insight. So it's just like, that's why I posed a question to P. What are you looking to gain or absorb when you get to Africa? And just kind of like have the conversation from there. I mean, Justin can come out and expound on what he had already said as far as what he was looking to do when he got out there, and the same for you. You know what I'm saying? So just anything to keep the conversation on point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's the next person that came in? Because I know we got somebody else who came in, but I don't know if they left or not.
We got Queen B. I don't know if she's trying to speak. And then there's Black Queen. So if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, you are more than welcome. But what I've been saying in the WhatsApp group, and as well as here on the actual show, if you guys are not, because we have to make space for people who wants to come up here and actually have the conversation. So if you guys aren't trying to do that, then I'll have to get you guys up off the panel and remove you from the backstage so that we can allow people to come up and actually, get on the panel and talk their shit. So.
Alrighty, Queen B or B Queen. So you want to go first?
Okay, she just hit me. She's I don't think she's gonna be contributing. Let me go ahead and take her off.
Okay. I can't see anybody's name, so I can't. So I don't even know who's.
Yeah, and I'm gonna fix that too for the next episode because I don't know why our names are not coming up. They should be on the bottom of the screen, but I don't know. Black Queen, you have the floor if you wanna introduce yourself. Feel free to do so.
Hold on
Okay,
before she asks.
fine.
Hold on 1 second before you. Hey, Nick, if you want to, you can throw your avatar up and then just go backstage and then go to the settings and make that happen if you want.
Oh, okay, all right. Go ahead, Black Queen.
Okay, I'm giving a brief introduction of me, and I wanted to talk. As you know, I'm Black Queen. I'm from Uganda, and I wanted to talk about what he talked about Uganda about time management. He said we Ugandans are not good in time, and which is not correct. It depends on the person's way of conduct. If you're not a time manager, that's your problem. Not everybody is not a time manager. That is it.
Okay. So you would say it's up to the individual person. You would say it's not a cultural thing. It's just a personal thing then.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to debunk that. Sorry, I would like to debunk that.
I knew it was going to happen.
I knew he was about to provide pushback too. I knew.
Okay, so first of all, I'm the one who said that, and I'm Ugandan. I'm living in Uganda. I've lived here for 30 years, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that everyone, but I'm just saying the generic way. Like institutions, you want to get some papers done, you want to set up a company, like the government thing, the private thing, most of these people are, like you said, there's some money which has to go under the table, the corruption, that's why most things take slow, because people expect you to give them something for their jobs, because they get paid less, so that's why you could say that things get slow. There's a lot of paperwork, red tape, bureaucracy. But generally, yeah, we are bad time managers. Yeah. So even if you go to a function, a party, anything, the time will be written in stone, 10 p.m., but people will start arriving at 12 p.m. That's facts, So I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes.
I'll add to that because I've heard people from multiple podcasts and even people that I've spoken to that live in a diaspora, like how, yeah, that's not an individual thing. That is a cultural thing, and that's the reason why freaking a lot of the resources that are in Africa are essentially just getting robbed from them because they're not taking the initiative to make people pay for what the resources Africa has, because other people are coming in here with a go-getter mentality and they are taking the resources and they're profiting off of it, because quite frankly, a lot of people on the continent, they don't want to move with a purpose.
Okay. So you think it's a cultural thing of that go-getter attitude. So my question I want to ask you then, and a couple other guys, like I want to ask you and then Howie. This simple question: what do you think you need to do necessarily, right, to get the Africans on the continent with that go-getter mentality to quote unquote chase that money or monopolize what they have on the continent or have access to?
You want me to start?
I mean, I'm gonna let Howie go first because as a local African, he like I think his view may trump yours on this one, and then we'll go to you.
All right, let me answer that. So, like I told you, most Africans have everything, and life is cheap, so you don't have that urgency to work harder, to go extra hours, so that urgency is in the air, and yeah, so I think the most important way to change this mentality is through education and training. Once you train people to do something, yeah, there's a way their mentality changes. Just like you see folks, if you have any business, the first thing to do is to train the locals, train them on what to do. Yeah, so that's why if you go to restaurants, if you go to whatever, you'll find that the workers, they have a specific code of conduct. So that's the major way to explain to them to change their ways. Time management through training, education, and awareness. Yeah.
Okay. You can go next. I can't see your name. I really can't see your name, bro. Like, it's really hard, bro.
It's mental agility.
Oh, mental agility. All right.
So, essentially, I feel how we on what he's saying, but there are people on the continent that have that drive. The thing is, they take their talents and they'll go to Qatar. They'll take their talents and then they'll come to the United States because everybody's not getting on board. What you need to do is go through a select vetting process. Somebody that has the resources, get with the people that have the knowledge and the know-how, and then you got to build your own conglomerate there. That's the only way it's going to work because people don't have to work and or don't have to work as hard, don't have to put in long hours. But me, when I was traveling in Nairobi for those 9 days, I noticed a big thing, and it was homelessness, right? Especially in the city. It was similar to how it is in other major cities in the United States, and you would think, oh, it'd be easy, just go back to the village and then you can live off the land. But that's not the case for an overwhelming majority of people that live in Nairobi in particular. That's the reason why there was such a civil unrest a couple of months ago when there was these quote unquote peaceful demonstrations. They were arguing about taxes. They were in an uproar about inflation and the lack of jobs. So I understand that it doesn't seem like a lot of money, and I know the Kenyan shilling and the Ugandan shilling are a little bit different. I know the Kenyan shilling holds more weight than the Ugandan shilling. So with that being said, it might not seem like a lot of money to you, but when it comes to the earnings and how much they get paid per day, that
What matters to them?
2,000 shillings is a lot of money.
Oh, it matter. It matter when you gotta work for it. When you work for that goddamn money, it matter to you. So shit, it don't matter. I got $2, $3. If I earned it, I earned it. So I can't see the other two people that's here though. We have somebody else. I think African Summit. I can't see your names. Can you introduce yourself?
That's Muse. She dropped out, and then I had to bring her back up on the panel.
Okay. So African Muse, you want to add something else necessarily about
we do have Queen B that wants to that's on the panel as well. Let me bring her up.
I can't see nobody.
I'm sorry.
Bro,
Did you say you couldn't hear me?
I couldn't see nobody. I can't see nobody.
Oh no, I literally brought. I don't know why people are not camming up. Like the whole point. Another thing is, again, this is the introductory episode, so I understand if you don't want to cam up, but I guess at least have an avatar at the ready. I need to get mine set up too, because just noticed that I didn't have one either. But I cam up though, so people can actually see who's having the discussion. That's kind of well, not even kind of, that is the point, of having these panels. So, but yeah. And then right now we can't, this is my fault. I take the L on this as far as people's names not being on their respective, on their whatever, the square or whatever. So, but yeah, I just want to put that out there. Queen B, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. And I guess the trend now is introducing yourself and presenting a question that you would like to hear the panel address.
Okay, well, my name is Beverly, and I'm from Ghana.
There we go. I was about to say you. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, and about Africans or Ugandans being a bit laid back when it comes to time management. I would say it's pretty much the same over here too. We also kind of have that problem
So I agree when they say it's an African thing, not everybody, because some are very strict when it comes to time management and they're on time. But we have something we call here Ghana man time. Not the Greenwich Meridian time, but Ghana man time, as in we do things in our own time or on our own time. So if a program is starting at 8, trust the Ghanaian to get there at like 10 or 12.
10:30.
And because
Oh,
majority of
oh,
Ghanaians know that's what is going to be like, they're not going to show up early. So even if I want to show up early, I know I probably might be the only one there, even though the program is starting at 8. So then everybody turns up after the set time that is supposed to start.
You
So
know what? I'm
yeah,
starting.
That's
it kind of is a
that's
general.
CPT. We call that
Yeah, yeah.
CPT over here in America.
Yes.
It happen all over Africa.
Okay.
No,
So with
yeah, it
with the
happen.
brothers
Even
that are trying to visit, um, if you come and you encounter this, just know it's not normal, but it kind of happens, and you might be frustrated,
Yeah, yeah.
because you're not used to that. You're used to things happening on time and everybody being on his or her time, but here is a little bit different, you know. So that is a cultural shock that you might run into, and a few more, and a few more cultural shocks. So
Okay.
that you should be prepared for. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
Well,
and when it comes to Africans with talent taking charge of resources, and I mean putting our talents in Africa, there is a problem. Africans don't really get paid that much. So as I'm talking now, a lot of nurses and doctors in Ghana have left for Canada, for London, UK,
Mm.
because they have been underpaid, even though they are very good. So the youth are leaving because they are not getting paid enough by the government. A lot of
I
people
was just
are
gonna ask you
leaving.
why is that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
because they're not getting paid. That's why they are
Damn.
leaving. So what they actually do is sometimes like they school abroad, and when they make enough money, then they come back and set up shops and businesses to invest in Africa. Like they'll go out there and build up on their IT skills, engineering, whatever skills they started here, and then they come back and put it in Africa, because it's hard to just do it over here, because you don't have, honestly, you wouldn't get that money, because most of the millionaires and the young entrepreneurs that we have who are Africans, most of them schooled outside. They've made their money outside and they came back, like they moved back permanently. If you
yeah,
nah.
are to do your background checks, that
I would
really is.
yeah, yeah.
I would say this.
I
Even if
relate
No, we
to
have.
say
what.
Hey, we got John trying to speak. I think he just came in, but I can't. We can't hear. Can you speak up, John? Can you speak up a little bit, man?
Yeah, yeah. I could relate to what she just said now. Because as a site engineer, I work as I'm an engineer, construction engineer, and most of my clients that I work for actually are from the state. Either they is in London or America, all those kinds of stuff, like building of houses and all those kinds of stuff. Like most of them actually from the, like, getting people here, and they, like, the money wasn't like that, except if you are being a politician, then I would say, oh, guys, you are rich, but most of them actually, they have been to the states. When they come back or they are in the state, they send you money, then you build something for them, you are building them, they send a picture or the video of what you are building for them, and all this kind of stuff. Like, they give you structure and you start building. I think it still depends on the kind of work you do. Most of the works here in Africa, you know, as she said, they don't pay well, though it's true. But there are still some works that, you can't just, it must be pay well. They have no choice. It is must be paid well. Like a site engineer, there is a structure, and everybody wants a good work. There is no way, when you have the structure down, what the architect has already given, this is what is going to cost you, and this is what I'm using to make it strong, and this. They have no choice than just to, like, oh, we got to pay you for these things. So, and also about the time management that she said also. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, in Nigeria also, we do normally say, African time. There is no place in Africa that when you give a time, especially when you say it's 8 o'clock, you will never see people that will be there by 8 o'clock. It should be around 9:30 that will not be there and like, oh, is you know, you people don't okay, they don't start. That's how that I think that's how most African roll. That's the
I'm
way we roll.
I'm not gonna beat you up on the time thing because I think that's just some black people around the world time
I
thing.
was about to say that's CPT over here. Telling people time. For those that didn't know, the niggas is
That
late all the time. That's just what it
I
is.
honest like I didn't want even though you keep hammering like it's 10 sharp, it's 10 sharp, it's 10 sharp. You will still see there nobody will turn up and say let me come out except like let me check and see what they will want and the program won't start when you are there. They will always say you also are part of it. So when you are there the program will start. They will say no, let other people be there. When people are
Yeah.
Damn,
Oh God.
let other people be there. When they are there, hey, I will come in. So I think that's how most the way some Africa actually behave though. So they
man.
are uh, also even the time management, those people that want even like just in Africa, you can even set up a time and say this thing we are spending 2 hours. And the person like the time they will even spend more than that 2 hours. You said it's 10 to 12, and you will see them 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They are finished, and you said it's 12 o'clock. That's so people actually know that this thing that you wanted to start 10 o'clock. I know you can't start 10 o'clock. It's around 11, 12. So and by the
Let's
time this thing that you told us is 2 hours program, you are going to spend 4 hours at last. So that's just the way the kind of mentality that Africa has.
Ah,
let's just
okay.
arrive at the fact that black folk around the world stay fashionably late. We'll just say that.
Stay fashionably late, bro.
We'll say
Exactly.
that.
Supposed to be there at 10 o'clock, be there at 12:30.
Man,
I got 2 points, right? I will say this because it seems like in Uganda things move kind of slow. But in Kenya, particularly Nairobi,
we will pray
you'll
for
be
y'all's
surprised.
Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. Go
You
ahead.
you will be surprised how fast they move. Like me and my girl, we walked to this one restaurant, and um, like it took us like 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes to get our meal, and that was with them killing the chicken, pulling the feathers off, gutting the
Sorry.
chicken,
I'm sorry.
cooking.
Justin, I'm so sorry. Did you say it took them 45 minutes to get y'all food?
Nah,
Yeah,
technically, yeah, but they killed the chicken that day though, bro. So that's a fresh chicken, bro.
they
That's
killed
a
the
genuinely
chicken,
fresh chicken.
killed the chicken,
Oh shit.
feathers, gutted it, boiled it up, grilled it, and we were served in like 45, 50 minutes.
What the so they
Hey,
put
I
Yep.
told you, bro.
so they pushing the cow through the slot. Oh wow.
Hey, but I told you that food over there is fresh over there, bro. I
It's
told you that
fresh.
matoke was hitting. It was fresh, bro. It's
So if
fresh.
I
It's
order
fresh.
this is me being ignorant, forgive me. So if I order a burger, I gotta wait for them to throw the cow into the slaughterhouse, do the whole process.
You're not getting a burger unless you go to an upscale restaurant. What you're gonna get is chicken and goat and beef.
Hey,
The
bro.
I mean,
beef
I
is
see.
the chances are the beef and the goat has already been cooked and slaughtered. It's just sitting in the heater. But that bird, they gonna kill that bird on the spot.
That chicken is fresh, bro.
Oh,
That goat
that's
probably 2 hours old, man.
Yeah,
literally wild. That is wild.
yeah, yeah.
I saw some
And
cats in Nigeria eating dog.
wait,
Yes, yes, yes. Like when I was even coming back from church, I saw the guy. He had already killed the
See
dog.
Justice's face.
Oh God, no.
Yes, yeah,
They
he
gonna
has already killed the
gonna
dog,
get
and
him
I
for
was,
that one. They
I,
gonna get
Oh,
him
I
for that
was
one.
like, I was tempted to branch and try to take some meat and eat, with some drink. But I was like, no, 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 no. You just have to get on first, get him, go. Like, I was tempted to branch the place and have a taste of the dog meat because actually, yeah, in Nigeria, yeah, yeah, in Nigeria, we have some tribe of people that they love to eat the dog meat. So we know them. So we
what
call them the Calabar people. So
Yo,
Did you
wait.
know a
Okay.
breed? Was it Saint Bernard? Was it Great Rottweilers? Who?
It was Rottweiler, bro. It was Rottweiler on the grill, bro.
That's crazy.
yeah, they if you should go to their site, definitely you will come across dog meat in their restaurants. So there are some part of people here in Nigeria that they love it, and also wherever they are in Nigeria, wherever those people, you will surely see them. That's just their food. They love it. Dog meat, they don't play with it. Your dog, they can steal it.
Hey, don't take
You are not.
your dog from America to Nigeria. You may not be getting Fido back, bro. He may not be coming back.
Isn't that what
Like,
they call bush meat in Nigeria? The wild dogs? Yeah, it's a common thing. It's a common thing over there.
yeah, but we have they have a specific dog that they do normally keep. Not the dog, kind of dog that you rear in the states. No, we have the local one that they love to keep. But yours also, if it's just like if it's run all out of the streets, you may not find it again.
Fido gone with it, lost him.
Yo, you will never
Really
see a
back.
missing. You'll never see a missing dog poster or sign out in Nigeria because
Nah, boy.
9 times out of 10 somebody done ate your damn dog, man.
No.
So they eat. So they eat
Yeah,
mud.
Crazy.
when I was in school, that's what I love it, because anytime there is no money again and the parents never send money, no, we just all of us during the exam time we gather, like, let's buy dog, and like we eat, we just cook it in a big pot, like that's how we do. Dog meat, how much is the dog? We just with the small money, everybody will just gather the money, and like, or sometimes guys just wanted to flex in the street, in the area.
So I have a question though, John. Is it that the way they cook it, is it curried or is it cooked down? Is it fried? I'm not sure because I never heard about it when I was watching Hollywood though.
Yes,
No, he didn't.
it being roast, you roast
Man
it.
said, is it cooked?
Yeah,
Is
you
it
can make it a
fried?
pepper soup. You know what
You
is called
filleted
pepper
up?
soup, right?
What the fuck is going on right now?
Oh, so it's like a barbecue. It's like a barbecue. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly. Yes,
I get
yes,
it.
they
I
roast
get
it
it.
like barbecue. Sometimes we cook it like we had pepper, just pepper soup. Don't you people eat something called pepper soup?
We got something
Oh,
similar.
yeah, pepper pot soup. Yeah, it's cow soup. It's cow soup.
On them.
Yes. They do it something like that also. Sometimes they just make it only barbecue, like they hang it. You go there and cut the one you can cut, and
But
they do that.
I'm assuming you don't use that in jollof rice though. You don't use it in jollof rice, or you may use it.
No. That meat is special, so we eat it raw like that. You don't need to say you wanted
It's
to add
special.
or rice or anything. You just eat the only meat. It's just the meat.
Oh man, like, I'm telling you, cause you tell people in America you serving them Fido jollof rice, they gonna be out here fighting.
You
Yeah,
going to
we're not
jail.
having that in Jamaica either, bro. We're
You
not
are
having that in
going.
Jamaica.
Hey,
It's like
you talk about eating dog out here. You going to jail.
They love that dog.
Taking your ass to jail. You're not just
Oh.
you not just be out here in the open eating dog. Like just, what?
The Scooby Doo.
On the subject of food, on the
But,
subject of
but you people eat pork meat now. What about pork meat?
We shop
yeah,
on
it's
this.
a cultural difference. Some people don't eat pork, some people do. So yeah, it's the same thing really, depending on the culture. But over this
Yeah, it
side, it's
depends
very
on the culture.
acceptable
Not
to eat
everybody
that.
that.
Somebody
Not
had
everybody.
somebody had a question in regards to food. Who was that?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Sorry. Yeah, on the subject of food, I think Nich, you might have to organize and have an entire podcast on the strangest foods in Africa, because people in West Africa eat the strangest or wildest meat. So they call it bush meat. You have people eating snails, cats, rats. Like
Rat, yeah, remember the rat. Remember the rat. That's serious.
snakes.
Oh yeah, they be over there
insects.
eating rat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Gotta
They
call it
do.
by the proper name. Gotta call it by the
No,
proper name.
no. The kind rat we eat here in Nigeria. It's not those small rat though. It's the
Small
It's
rat.
big rats, Nick.
it's not the small. It's the big rat. Like it's just like squirrel. That's how big the rat is. Big rat.
Nah,
I'm talking.
Them
They
talking
roast
of rats
Nigerian
chicken.
that
rats
are
about the
carried
size
in
of a
pot.
dog, bro. That's what he's not telling you. Them Nigerian rats about the size of a dog. So
No,
that's a
I
big
seen
boy out there,
I,
man.
s- I
No,
seen them
size,
shits.
you know, size of a puppy, dog puppy. I'm talking of a rat, size of a dog puppy. That's what I'm talking about. You know that kind of big rat, you know, good for food and it's good for stomach.
But
Like
it's still a rat.
Yeah, the
Hey,
species of the
I do
rat is
not.
called the giant mole rat. The giant mole rat is a big rat. Yeah, we also eat it here. It's a delicacy actually in northern Uganda. So you find
hey,
people skinning it, cooking it, and it's tasty actually.
Man, just give
that
me
makes
my
sense.
just give me the chicken tenders and French fry meal, please. I
well,
just
you better be ready because the French fries don't even taste like French fries over there in Africa. I'll be the first to tell you. Or the chips, as they call it. Yeah, they don't taste like fries, and they made from potatoes too, but they don't taste like fries.
are they like not seasoned or something or just
Nah, bro. We got them genetic altered potatoes over here. You know, super potatoes that don't grow right here in
oh
America, bro.
no.
Got them
They
hormone
fries
filled
taste like a
potatoes, bro.
wet
Come on.
potato.
So we're
They
the
fries,
ones over here eating the strange French fries. They have
Yeah,
what French fries should be tasting like out in Africa. Is that what y'all said?
I
basically.
ain't gonna say that because I had fries in London, and fries in London taste like fries. The fries I had in Nairobi taste like wet potato.
Oh, really?
E- Yeah, that will happen because they actually grow the real potatoes to make the fries. Like the fries that you eat, like what we know as French fries, a lot of times they're genetically modified. If you grow tomatoes and cut the tomatoes naturally, they will come out wet unless you put it through that process where it will taste like what we come to know as French fries. So that's the difference.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I bit into
Um,
it. That joke had a crunch to it, like not a crispy crunch either. Like the potato wasn't cooked all the way crunch.
Like a wet crunch? That's making me mad already.
Yeah, you'd have to cut it thin.
That's making
You'd
me
have to cut it
mad.
thin and fry it in deep oil. That's how you'd have to like remedy that, or dry it out first
okay,
and then you cook it.
You
on the
better
Mm.
fries, we have
probably
different species. We have
green.
different species of fries. Yeah.
Ah,
So you have fries from Kisoro, Kawale. We also have fries from Kenya. So the Irish potatoes are a different species. So there are some potatoes which are designed to make fries. So if you get the species which is not designed to make fries, it will be soft. It doesn't get hard, no matter how many times you cook it. So that's the one you tasted, yeah.
Yeah,
So, but we have some good fries in Uganda. So maybe you could stop by, yeah.
yeah. I can vouch for Uganda though. I can let me say
And
this much. I can vouch for Uganda and their
like
fries. It's okay, but the ketchup over there, that's the only place I ever been to that got sweet ketchup though. They got a
yeah, it's not
lot of
good.
sweet ketchup over there. I'm like,
It's
why
sweet
is ketchup
ketchup.
sweet? It's like
They
I'm
they
eating
call it
candy.
chip sauce. Chip sauce.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Man,
it's not ketchup. It's chip sauce.
chip sauce. Okay, I learned something new today. Chip sauce. I'm gonna add that to my diary of information I got. Chip sauce.
also
You,
it's
you,
like a dip, like a dip. You put it in. Like how? What do you dip it with?
Fries with chips.
what? What did you ask?
It
Sorry.
don't even look. It doesn't even look red like regular ketchup. It's a bright red.
Yeah, real bright red ketchup. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you're talking about tomato sauce. We call it tomato sauce here in Uganda. So that's a different. It's actually made in Uganda. It's not the
Yeah,
original tomato sauce. Yeah.
It's not
So
ketchup.
it's
It's not
bright
ketchup,
red.
guys. Tomato sauce is totally different from ketchup.
Yeah, it's something
Ketchup has to
different. So
go
it's
through a
something
different
good for
process. Most of the foods that you
tourism.
guys eat in America are like very much processed and different from natural occurring foods. So like tomato sauce is basically blended tomatoes. It won't taste like ketchup. They have to add chemicals to it for it to taste like ketchup. So what you guys had in Uganda is probably most likely just tomato juice or tomato paste really, and it's just blended and gone through probably a more natural process than the making of ketchup.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
You
want to show
said
you
that.
that grass cutter though. When you get that when you get the opportunity, share my screen. I gotta show you this grass cutter. They was that's a big boy out there in Nigeria, man. I want to go down there and try me some grass cutter. I'm gonna be the first dude out there to get me some rat, bro. We frying up that rat when I go to Nigeria, bro. I'm telling you now. I'm making the video.
You,
We going to
you,
Nigeria, we hitting the rat up, bro.
you
The rat
are
is on the
welcome.
menu.
Don't worry, I got you.
You got me, bro.
I got you.
Oh man.
I
Well,
don't, I don't
well,
think they
speaking
put
speaking of
sauce in anything.
I'm just saying, speaking of food, it's Sunday in Jamaica. So Sunday in Jamaica, every Sunday is like a holiday where your family gets together and eat what we call Sunday dinner. It's called Sunday dinner. So it's rice and peas. It has to be rice and peas. If it's not rice and peas, it's not Sunday dinner. And most times it's rice and peas and chicken. Every Jamaican eats that on Sunday. Alternately, we can eat like corn goat, fish, and I know there's a hype about oxtail, but Jamaicans really don't eat that much oxtail, especially on Sundays, because oxtail is expensive. But every Sunday, if a Jamaican is not cooking rice and peas, they're not cooking Sunday dinner. So I just had that before I jump on this call. It was rice, peas, and fish this Sunday.
Okay, well, I'm about to go and get me some Subway, and
Oh God.
yeah, because y'all talking about dogs and pit bulls and cats and flamingos and shit. This is wild. This is literally wild.
What you
It's
talking? What you
crazy.
think you doing when you get down to Africa, boy? Hey man, you got a whole new palate now to eat, man. You going?
I listen. I'm open to it though. I'm gonna be open to it. I'll be open to it. I don't know about dog. I don't know about that, but I'll
Man, that's
try.
Nigerians, bro. Not only Nigerians wild enough to eat dog, bro. Like
Okay.
Other Africa also eat dog. Other Africa also eat dog.
now he's
Not
snitching.
only Nigeria.
Now he's snitching on Africa.
You hear Jimmy in the backyard in the background barking.
Does somebody got a dog literally barking in the backyard?
Hey, that's
Or
dinner, bro. That's dinner.
Yeah,
That's right now.
it's mine. It's from my own. It's my compound.
are y'all about to cook?
Yeah, that's Westwala.
That's dinner, y'all. That's dinner. That's dinner.
Are y'all about? Are y'all about to cook that
Dinner in
right
the back
now?
No. It's not for eating. It's not for kill. We
John,
can.
man, don't kill that dog while we on live, bro. Wait till we done with the show.
No. That the dog is very lovely and very everybody like the dog. This dog that is barking so no, nobody can tap her. It's even my neighbor dog though, but very lovely dog.
It makes sense now that you said it because he's quiet. Because if he was getting ate, he would have been quiet. He would have been hiding in the back somewhere. So you probably right on that one. He good. He good in the background. He live and kicking. That's why he talking. That's why he talking.
Oh my God. I mean,
It's just all down to culture and what's culturally acceptable, guys. Because in France, they eat horses. They ride the horses at day, eat the horses at night at restaurants. So it's just what's culturally acceptable, you know?
Ooh, I know not to go down to France though. Hold on. I do have a question, y'all guys. Now, this is technically a small political. I'm gonna go in, but we gonna go right back out. Right now,
yeah, because we're. I mean, we can keep going. I don't know what everybody's schedule is looking like. I was gonna wrap up in like 10 minutes because we've been on for an hour and a half. So, but if you guys want to keep, we can keep it going if you want. But go ahead, Malcolm.
I got one quick question though, guys. Like to the panel, right now. Now, Africans, y'all go through the struggle called load shedding, not having enough power. Now, in France, right now, they ain't got no power because y'all done cut off their lights. So how do y'all feel? Y'all basically told France you can't get no more lights. So that's my question to the panel. How do y'all feel about that move? Real quick, that's all.
I didn't know. Whoa, sound like a dog is dying in the background.
Yeah, that dog sounds very suspect. That dog sounds very suspect. But to Malcolm's question, yeah,
sounded like
French
dinner
involvement in
is being
Africa.
prepared.
There is someone in the compound. So anytime that make that dog to bark, there is somebody in the compound.
Oh,
All
right.
Yeah.
Good.
To Malcolm's question, France in Africa, how I feel about France in Africa is the way most Pan-Africanists should feel about French in Africa. They should not be in Africa. And the fact that they're covering up that they were stealing our resources, like our collective resources from our continent and building up their country, is good to see that Africans in general, especially the Francophone African nations, are wising up, getting rid of French as their main language and chasing them out of their country for the most part. It's similar to what they call the Arab Spring, so it's like a French Spring. Definitely, there's a conversation that needs to be had between the French and the former French possessions in Africa in terms of reparations and so forth.
Okay, I'm gonna let Howie. Do you know anything about Africa turning off the lights in France or
I didn't even know that Africa had the power, no pun intended, to do that.
Oh
This is
yeah,
how
bro.
ignorant
Hey,
I am.
hey, man. Hey, the more you know, bro. The more you know.
So wait, so you're saying Africa shut off France's power or their electricity or whatever? That's what's
Oh
going on?
yeah, bro. They out there in the dark, bro. They out there. You should have seen it, bro. And they was like, please turn on our lights. I was like, damn.
Damn. I gotta look into that. I didn't even know that was happening.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, now in Nigeria I know what I think is, most of our government actually we give other Africa's neighborhood country, we give them light. Ghana just stopped using our light recently, not more than a year. Ghana celebrates a year without not taking light, and we supply them light, and Nigeria can't even boast of 2 days not taking light. Can you see that? We give a neighboring country, Togo, Chad, and all those things, we give them light, and we are not even having a constant light here in Nigeria. So because Meccano, a generator company, actually most of the head, they get the shares from all those big generator companies that they brought into the country. Do you understand? And now, as of last week, I was in Ghana. Actually, have not get where they generate light by themselves, and was not trying to give Nigeria, also support Nigeria in light issue, like trying to give Nigeria light. You see how stupid that is. Somebody that we give light to for years, for a decades, is now coming back now again to say he wanted to help us in light issue, wanted to supply us with light. That's so crazy. Not that we didn't have every resources. Nigeria, we are giant of Africa. We have the money. We have everything. But this set of people are just so crazy.
So, John, what do you think as a Nigerian would be the solution to like sustainable electricity generation in Nigeria? What do you think would lead to that?
My own thoughts, here in Nigeria, I know, especially in Lagos, there's a place, these big people are. If those people, for me, no, I'm serious, like, they can stop the issue of jet in that so particular place. Somebody should just say, oh, this particular stop using jet. I know those people can't do with that light in it just for a minute. I know, just like somebody just see all the home and all those big jet out of their compound. I think within 24 hours, Nigeria is going to get light. There will be a stable of light in that place. It's just those set of people. If there should be a law that no using of generator in this also area, this particular place, so in this community, we didn't want the generator again. I think nothing else Nigeria can do. There will be absolutely light. We have all the resources. We have what it takes to have the light. There is nothing that is making us not to have the light. But now, though, it's different because we just have a new government. At least now, we have almost like more than 16 hours light in a day. That's more than, sometimes maybe 20, sometimes maybe 18 hours in a day. But
Okay,
they always
I got a quick question though.
never have any 24-hour light.
I wanted to
That
have Howie and the my man I had I can't see your name, so it just I just gotta say the man with all the jerseys, bro. You the man with the jerseys right now. That's your name technically until I can see your name.
Mental agility.
Mental agility. All right. We're gonna go with that. So, how do y'all two feel about Africa cutting off the lights to Europe? How does that make y'all feel? Question.
This shit is hysterical to me. Okay, I'm done.
Funny. I mean, I didn't even know that which country was it that turned off the power in France?
I think it was Niger, bro. It was Niger.
Oh, Niger. Well, I guess it is what it is. At the end of the day, I just know in East Africa, they have a difficult time managing their power grid. So it's just surprising that Niger would have the power to shut off, pun intended, to shut off the power in another country like Europe. That's because Europe is pretty self-sustaining. So I mean, that was
Well,
France.
if I may interject, when you look at the wider scope of things, like Europe normally gets power from Russia. Now we know what's happening between Russia and the countries in NATO. So because of that, the alternative electricity or power source would be from the resource-rich former territories in Africa. So because of that conflict between Russia and the bombing of the Nord pipeline, the alternative source would have been Africa. So now, if there is a standoff between France and those francophone nations in Africa, then you'll see where the problem would come from there. So no power from the natural gas lines in Russia, and then if Niger and other countries having a standoff with France, then there would definitely be a problem. Europe doesn't have resources, guys. Only way Europe gets resources is from Russia or Africa. There's no other way. There's no natural resource in Europe. Only fish.
Okay. We got to keep it. We're gonna keep it medium on the politics. Well, we're gonna ask the last question to Howie. Howie, how do you feel about Africans cutting off the lights in Europe now? Cause you said you went in Spain, right? So my question is, so how do you feel about that? Knowing that you were actually in one of the European countries and the overwhelming disdain they had for you while you were there.
All right, yeah, I would say I think it is well deserved. I mean, what can I say? I mean, these are the guys who enslaved us, for 400 years. So I think it's just like it's just fate. I mean, once you here in Africa, we say a thief has 40 days. So I feel like it is just something which would happen later on in the future. There is no sin which goes unpunished. So the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. Most of it destabilized the energy connections, like Big Dream said, So the alternative is to turn back to clean energy, especially solar energy. So there's a project which is going on, which is going to connect North Africa to Europe. They are planning a cable which is going to transmit over 2,000 megawatts of electricity, So, and some countries are protesting against it, because why are you supplying to your colonizers, maybe they don't even pay much for this, So they want to install solar panels all over the desert, over Morocco, whatever, Egypt, and yeah, so so the energy will go via cable under the ocean or the sea until it reaches England, Cyprus, or Greece, So I feel like Africa just needs to take advantage of that. It is an opportunity, but as well, you have to benefit from it. Maybe they're paying
so you
peanuts
basically tell them
for
they
it.
need to go ahead and get them candles ready. Tell them
Yeah.
get the candles ready. Get the candles ready. Ain't no more cheap energy no more, bro. Get the candles ready. Get the windmill start cranking.
Hey, I'm with John.
The windmill start cranking. You stupid.
Yeah, well, we'll hope so, bro. We'll hope so. But guess what now? The thing is, with Africans, from where I see it from my standpoint, they would say they don't have the resources to build out the infrastructure. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, it means the EU would have been building most of those solar panels and those windmills. And because of that investment in infrastructure, they will have a lion's share of the rights in terms of the electricity generation. For example, even in my country, a lot of the companies that build out renewable technologies are based in Europe. So even if it's our natural sovereign resources, the Europeans will also inevitably have shares in it. So it's not as black and white as you see, guys.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much a cool little wrap up for the day, though. I don't know about with Nick necessarily, right? But we can either keep this conversation going, or we can, keep it flowing. Because for me, I can talk all day, bro. I'm from the South.
I can too. I just with this with this this topic at hand, I didn't know anything about Africa shutting motherfuckers' powers off. I did not know that was a thing. That's
yeah, bro. They was out there with them candles, boy. They was out there in France with them candles, like, please, Lord, give me some lights. I was like,
right.
I will say this. Africa has a great opportunity here with the industrial superpower of China dying down because they don't have the return rate of children, and Africa has the youngest but largest working class on the globe. So if they can bring those opportunities to Africa, and Africa actually leverages their real estate. All right, if you want to build these solar panels, or if you want to build these wind turbines to try to do this renewable energy, you're going to have to give us some of that capital. Like they need to get the bottom dollar because they have these people that can build and maintain that infrastructure. So if the people on the diaspora can get on the continent can get on the same page and build, they can be the next superpower.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about your bargaining power because we already have the majority of resources, and then what we have in Africa is the sun and the land space, as in what our brother Howie was talking about, the Sahara Desert. So with those two things, with the natural resources and the unlimited potential of the sun that we could tap into, this is the thing that we suffer a deficiency from in terms of our negotiating skills. We have the handle here in terms of we have the resources. You want what we have. What do you have to bring to the table in terms of paying us what we see as equal or fair for our resources? So it's fair trade, not necessarily free trade in terms of we need these infrastructure, we need these things to survive, and our population needs to develop and fight against these climate impacts. How much money are you willing to pay for our resources, and not the other way around? Like it's a charity where you can give us little or nothing and basically lease out our land and extract our resources for basically nothing, and then we end up being in the resource trap. So that's the most critical aspect of what mental agility was saying in terms of our negotiating power. And when I say our, it's the leaders of the respective African nations.
I do have a question though. I do have a quick question. I'm gonna link this back to the question we just asked and the question we did beforehand. Do you think that lack of drive to necessarily to monopolize your own resources in Africa is it tied to that quote unquote that African mentality or that Ghana mentality or that that just I don't got to necessarily put that much, I ain't gonna say that much effort in, but that I got everything on my side of mentality of the average African that's on the ground. Do you think that correlates? There's a correlation between that mentality and what you see out there in the wider world, though. So that I guess I was to put up to Howie and also to John and below him.
All right, I'll go. Let me go first. Okay, so what Big Drums was saying, the bargaining power, like the need, like how much do you need it? How badly do you need this? I think most of our, even though we get the true value of our resources, the problem is the corruption, the people responsible for managing the project, the ministries, whatever, the officials. The problem is you get thousands of dollars, but that money will go into the pockets of the people responsible. So there won't be any construction of roads, hospitals, so the country remains poor because of the people responsible for that, And then what you're saying on the I forgot the question. Malcolm, what did you ask? Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry.
I was tying that back down to let's say that lack of drive that we have. That you said that's within that African continent, like that as we call it in America, that colored people time, right? Do you think there's a correlation between that also and the need to do business also when you're do business with European nations and other nations also? Because that I'm seeing with that lack of drive where you could capitalize on certain things you don't capitalize. I'm seeing with that lack of drive.
One second. Do you have headphones,
Well,
Malcolm?
I think I can bridge the gap in understanding what you guys are saying.
Do you have headphones,
Malcolm? And no, I do not. I do not have headphones. I have my speaker system.
Okay, I think that's why the feedback is coming from. I think.
All right, so this is the thing, Malcolm. He's actually answering. He's actually giving you the correct answer, though. You're asking a question, but his answer is the actual answer. So his answer is saying, right, they have the drive, but the people are thinking individualistically. So our leaders, it's the same thing in my country. Our leaders will just pocket the money. So they get their money for the resources, but they don't spend it on building infrastructure. They're only interested in pocketing the money for themselves and their friends. So it's like crony capitalism at either a private level or a state level. And that's rampant in Africa as well. So it's answering your question, Malcolm, but that's in the context in which he's speaking is that, yes, there's the initiative and the drive, but the people with the power are not sharing the resources. They just dwell in corruption. So that's it, more or less.
Okay then. Well, I'm done on the questions, right? Actually, well, I'm not done on the questions, but I'm actually let somebody else get an opportunity to speak because Lord knows I can speak all day.
So let me get into this. I think what Malcolm was talking about, monopolizing basically their land and the leverage of what they have versus what other people want. To add on to what I was saying about the largest working population, right? There's another thing that's that's a cripple to Africa. And I think if you want to get down to the bare brass taxes of it, Africa as a continent does not have a strong military. Now, at the end of the day, you can negotiate behind closed doors, but if you can't come to an agreement, that's not going to stop anybody from invading your country. That's the same thing that happened in Saudi Arabia. That's the same thing that happened in Kuwait, and it's the same thing that happened in Iraq. Right? That fight wasn't over um, weapons of mass destruction, and that fight wasn't over the bombing on 9/11. That fight was over resources that in the Middle East they did not want to negotiate. And those superpowers that we were talking about, the Chinas, the Russias, the Americas, they will invade your country and they will take it. So it's like monopolizing it is is far of a stretch. You got to be diplomatic in these type of regards when you're talking about strengthening the globe. Like just last week, they had the United Nations Assembly up there in New York, and all the countries in the United Nations. They came in. Even Russia and Ukraine was there, and China was there. They had representatives, of course, but the Ukrainian president was actually there. One of the biggest talks they were speaking of was renewable energy, and the focal point of the renewable energy was the continent of Africa. So everybody's eyes are on Africa right now, and if they can't come to an agreement, good may be scared. So that's something that's like
Yeah.
we have to pay attention to.
The thing with resources, resources are seen as finite things, right? So the square footage on the African continent is a finite thing. The thing is, the representation that we see on maps of Africa is probably twice as big, right? So in terms of raw land mass and available land space to use for resources, renewable resources, there's no competitor to Africa. There's no other place that you could go and get 24 hours of sunlight in an open plain, which is a desert. And similarly to that, you have the wind resources in Africa, you have the River Nile with all the water resources. So, from an environmental standpoint, there's no comparison to Africa. Russia is the closest second, and the fight between Russia and Europe is basically isolating that block of resources, so that you will see there's a shift in the way they look at resources to say that, all right, we have this long history in Africa, and then they are expecting to get the resources for little or nothing. So that's why I'm putting you guys on alert to say, listen, the Europeans, Chinese, everyone else is expecting Africa to just lie down and take the resources. And coming back to your point on the militarization of Africa, and when I say that, I mean the nuclear alliance of Africa, it can only happen from my perspective if we at least regionalize. Because, for example, the biggest, most popular countries in Africa, Egypt, Nigeria, Ethiopia, on their own, they cannot stand a threat against any other nation. But if we had something like the EAC, just get their differences together and probably rope in Ethiopia, rope in probably even up to Egypt, and they have quite a few countries that have a military alliance, they could stand a decent defensive force in terms of warring away other people to say, hey, you can't just come to Africa and expect a certain thing. You have to come to the bargaining table and be serious, and not come in there as if you're going to dictate the terms. But until Africa is united as an economic bloc and a military bloc, that's not practical to overturn the established military powers of Russia, China, NATO, and the US. It's not practical.
No, not at all.
All right.
And it's like that's the biggest issue. Like for the last 6 years, Africa has been battling with this free trade agreement to where they're not even allowing different countries to cross borders and do business. That's one thing about all these other countries. Well, I know United States in particular. You might be from Seattle, like Nick, and you might be in the DMV, like me. But if somebody messes with our country, we're going to unite all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. I don't know if we can say the same about the continent of Africa, because it's like you can be from Kenya and it's going to cost you more to fly to Nigeria than it's going to cost you to fly to Dubai. And why is that? Why is it costing you more to fly in country than to go across the water or go up north to the UAE? It's because there's no alliance there.
Yeah, so this is very deep. Yeah, so I don't know if we have time to cover
we ain't got time for
all
this
of it, but
conversation.
it is deep. Yeah,
But I
it's very
appreciate the
deep.
efforts, though. I appreciate the conversation because I'm listening and I'm learning. But you guys, this has been and just us having this conversation, just the random topics of discussion along with the introduction. This has been a great panel. So yeah, man, this was awesome, and you guys, all of our viewers, this is what you can look forward to. It'll be more exciting. We're gonna have a lot of hot topics, a lot of spicy commentary, I'm sure, because there's a lot of we got a lot of colorful personalities that you see here on the panel, and then other folks that didn't even get to hop on today. But yeah, we've been on for 2 hours. That went by fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
And time flies when you're having fun. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to tell you. So, yeah. So this will conclude episode 1 of the Afro Summit podcast.
You want to do any final thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna call out our family in the WhatsApp chat, because y'all be popping shit in that damn chat, and when it's time to come up here on this panel to have the discussion, y'all get scary and don't want to have y'all. All of a sudden, y'all quiet, don't got nothing to say.
They be hiding in the shadows, bro.
I don't know. I just want to point that out. That was funny to me. I had a person in the chat just now, and I'm not gonna name names, but she's always in there popping shit. But when it was time to get up on this panel, just to introduce herself, she didn't want to say nothing. So, but that's all I got. This has been a great table of discussions. Definitely look forward to more episodes. And we're gonna scale out. This thing is gonna be big. The name of the game, though, especially when it comes to content, creating content and doing podcasts, is consistency. If we're not on top of it, and this goes beyond like the actual the podcast here. Like, if you just mental agility, use that a game. I think it was an HBCU game. That right there that's content for the for the platform that can give our brothers and sisters over the motherland just more insight as to what we do on an extracurricular tip. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm, whatever it is that you got going on as a data analyst, you can be just whatever. You can make content out of literally anything. So with that, we can do the same thing in just teaching each other about what it is that we do on each side of the fence, the proverbial fence. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And again, I thank everybody who has contributed to this conversation today. Everybody in the WhatsApp chat, and I'm gonna put all that information in the description, so that anybody who wants to join the chat, you all you got to do is just hit the link and become a part of the village, if you will. So, but yeah, that's my final thoughts. I don't want to continue rambling on. Everybody else, go ahead and put your 2 cents in, and then we'll wrap this up.
I'll go ahead and
Well,
go first. I'm pretty quick.
go ahead, bro.
It's usual business, and it's business as usual, right? You'll see me. I'm always down in Uganda, East Africa. I'm always East Africa stepping. So that's my little second little home over there. I love the place, love the food, love the culture, love everything about the place. Long we go ahead and work on them light situation, we'll be 100 over there. Other than that, man, that's all I got to say, guys.
Cool.
All right, guys. It was a wonderful discussion, wonderful panel. Look forward to having a lot more. And until next time, guys. See you at the summit. See you at the summit.
All right.
All right, I guess I'll go next. Hey, man, it was a great day. Pleasure being on the chat with all on the panel with all you gentlemen. There's going to be a lot of fruitful discussions coming up in the future, and I hope the world is ready for what we got. So, peace to everybody in the chat, peace to the panel, and I'll see you guys later.
All right. Who else didn't? We got Howie and John, and then we'll go ahead and.
Right. Yeah, this has been a fruitful conversation between the motherland and the diaspora, and I feel like we could have more fruitful conversations in the future where we can discuss anything that can bridge the gap between us and the people over in the diaspora. Yeah, I just wish we could have more gender balance. Let's have a gender balance. I think Malcolm and Nich, you might have to convince some of your ladies to join. I mean, so that we could have a female representation. I feel like this is a good thing, I mean, it is so male dominated. I'm only seeing males, and yeah, maybe next time, but we're just starting up, and yeah, it was good. Yeah, but yeah, thanks, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Right. And to echo your sentiments as far as the women are concerned, we definitely we need and want the women's presence on the panel. So we're going to be we're going to work to get them get them on board. Queen B, shouts out to her. Shouts out to Black Queen. Shouts out to Muse. If I'm missing it, I think that was all the ladies that came on today. So, but yeah, we'll definitely have that presence from our ladies, because we definitely got to get their perspective on things as well, to have as a means to have a balanced conversation. But John, man, you got the floor, and then we are out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really very happy, to be among you guys today. Like, I'm very, very happy. As I said before, I'm very, very happy, and still looking forward to more conversation. I know by next week, today was a little bit in rush, and things will still be set in place in order, for more functioning. But I guess can people be streaming also on YouTube? No, people, as we are talking, is it possible for other people watching on YouTube? Is that possible?
Oh yeah, we can definitely going to get into that eventually. Just necessarily, we doing the first one just like right here out in the StreamYard, but then after that, eventually we're gonna start uploading videos to YouTube. Eventually, definitely. Well, I think that's about it. I think Nick, go ahead and take us out. I definitely want to say I see you guys at the summit at the top, and I definitely want all y'all boys to get there necessarily. So I'll leave y'all a nice little map so y'all can follow me, bro. So that's it. And I'm going ahead to go jump off this thing and go cook me something to eat.
Yeah, man. Muse, you're in the back. Did you want to say anything before we cut this episode, or are you good? Let me bring her up. Oh, okay. I guess she doesn't want to have a final say. All right. So once again, this is the Afro Summit podcast, where the diaspora meets the motherland, and we come together and we learn from each other, and in an effort to bring about I lost my train of thought. In order to come together on just fruitful outcomes, I'll table it there. So my mind is like going a million miles per hour right now. So but yeah, awesome discussion. We'll catch you on episode 2. We will have a more structured run. It'll be topic based. This was just an introductory piece, so you just get a feel for the personalities and people's intellect and backgrounds and just overall perspective, various perspectives from all different walks of life. So with that being said, we are out, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.